Ever heard of if it is due tomorrow, do it tomorrow? Then you have heard of procrastination. And if you have put off work by finding more pressing tasks such as rearranging your bedroom, scrolling through your social media, or even hanging out with your friends, then of course you too have fallen prey to procrastination. Now, some of you may purposely delay working as you produce your best work under pressure. But most of us do engage in passive procrastination, or what we recognize as conventional procrastination. According to Cognition Today, this occurs when we are unable to self-regulate or make decisions, which gets in the way of completing tasks even when we decide to commit to it. This causes us to feel more miserable, as recognizing we are not doing our work results in negative emotions of self, causing us to feel useless or worthless, making it even more difficult to complete the work. As Dr. Fushia Siroy, a psychology professor, puts it, this is why we say that procrastination is essentially irrational. Because it does not make sense to do something you know is going to have negative consequences. So if we can tell that procrastination is self-destructive, then why do we do it? First reason is fear of failure. Anxiety, fear of failure, or any similar negative emotions can be hindering factors which can cause us to, keep procrastinating. These factors often can overpower our self-control and delay our task because we start to view it as intimidating or overwhelming. One way to overcome this is through regaining, autonomy, or by reducing self-doubt and increasing your self-esteem. Do this by identifying or listing down your own characteristics that helps you to achieve this task. Reason 2, vague goals. Vague or abstract goals are those goals that are not concrete or clearly defined. For example, I will get more fit. This goal sounds perfectly fine. But how will you achieve it? How will you get more fit? Goal that seems unattainable, unmeasurable, increase the likelihood of procrastination because there is no defined structure or steps. And this decreases your motivation. And to overcome this, it's important that you set goals which are achievable and you can measure them. Reason 3, a perfectionist mentality. Being a perfectionist can be a blessing and a curse. Perfectionism can push you to produce exceptional pieces of work, and if you're fortunate, it will push you to do so on time. But if you have a strong fear of making mistakes, then perfectionism can cause procrastination, as you put off doing the work to avoid making those mistakes. Therefore, it will help you to recognize that making mistakes is simply a fact of life, and it's a learning process. And if anything, it will help channel you in the right direction, producing even better work. Reason 4, fear of negative evaluation, also known as atishiphobia. If we fear being judged or perceived through our work, then we are more likely to put it off. However, this fear is usually irrational and unjustified, as we can exaggerate the significance of others' feedback, and getting negative feedback is simply an assumption, not the reality. It might help you to practice positive self-talk, to realize that you know yourself best and others' perception of you does not change that. Reason 5, self-handicapping. It's a defense mechanism where people will deliberately handicap their own performances to build up for failure as a way to preserve the self-esteem. In our case, we will purposely put off doing work. It helps you to blame procrastination instead of your ability. Shifting focus by using what if for goals instead of excuses, this will turn the self-sabotaging into self-motivating. We often do not realize that we have greater self-control than we perceive ourselves to have. And therefore, use these 5 reasons as warning signs to stop yourself from procrastination before it becomes too late for you. Take care, stay safe.